15:03. This is James coming in at you hot. Everything's looking good. Everything's great. Hope you're doing well. Oh shit, I'm wearing the same shirt. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fix that. We'll see. We'll do it in post. We'll do it in post. We will do it in post. I need all of you to render. Let's put me in some. This is why I don't dress myself. I don't fucking know what to wear. I don't know what to wear. Hope everybody's doing good. I know audio's good because I got Stretch in the house going, here's the audio's good. Don't make me pull a yellow card on you fuckers. Just don't do it, okay? We got a clean game. Got a clean game, okay? Hope everybody's doing well. I was going to do a show today about self-immolation, but it's raining. I don't know if any of you get that joke. It's kind of a... It's cruel. It's a cruel joke. Is it cruel or is it merciful? Some of you are like, what the fuck is... What is he talking... Immolation? Yeah, it's when Emily creates a fucking nation. And she's the immolation. She's like, I am the immolation. And you will take this cheesecake back. And, yeah, I got some cheesecake, by the way. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That was a kind gift. And it was expected, so it didn't freak me out. Sometimes when you get food in the mail... You're kind of like, oh, fuck. What do because you don't expect it, and then you're probably didn't happen to a lot of you guys. Hope you're doing well. Hope Monday's doing good. Hope you're doing well. We have an airship today. Starts at dojo today starts at 12:30. So if you want to warm up in the bullpen, you can. I wanted to talk about the ocean as a conscious layer. The Ears of Sheol is really not even the best title for this show. I'll probably change it. Nate's in the house. Good to see you, Nate. Good to see all you guys. Everybody's in the house, which is great. But I want to get to it because we'll say hi later. I interchange these meanings a lot. Tehom, Sheol, and Hades. I typically call it Hades, guys. I'm so sorry to do this. My heater is on. I know that one of you will be like, I can't hear it, but seriously, it's a lot better show. Let me just let me pick a color. I'm gonna go with blue. Thank you very much for waiting. Sorry about that. It'll go off in just a sec. It takes a while. You gotta wait for it to come off. You guys probably can't hear it, so I will move along. However, I have kind of not been straight with you. There's a trinity of dead places. And dead's a broad term. I talk about Hades a lot, all the time. And when I discuss it, I tend to mean it as a hidden realm. I still will. When I say hidden, I explained personally, there's not a religion about this, that the olfactory is sort of like your biggest clue, your smell. The fact that you can sort of determine so much information from smell, chemo signaling, pheromones, things like that. I know you've heard me say it, but I call that Hades. I call that unseen realm Hades. The Olympics that we just had, where there was a feast and it was a blue figure. Some people said that was Dionysus. And I don't see it. I thought that was Hades. Hades is the one that has the bident. Poseidon has the trident. That the three brothers were given access to whichever realms they would dwell in, and Poseidon took the waters and was given the trident. And Hades came last. Hades was the one that said, fine, I will take what you guys cannot. And that's the unseen realm. Pluto would be a way of looking at that. This planet that comes in and out, that we as a culture even just said one day, you know what, it's not even fucking real. It's not even a planet. Fuck that place. We do not want an unseen realm. And we've tried to obliterate it from our mythology. And we've done that on purpose, which is I love. I don't think there's anything broken here. I think this is really fascinating, and we should use this to understand things. It's why I've written my last book, honestly. Black Hide Club really deals with this theme. We discussed how blue is a hallucinated color. We've learned a lot on this channel. Work of Gladstone and Hugo Mangus and others, and we've trace the roots of color through archaeological history, through the invention of certain colors. And blue seems to be one of the later colors. I can't say last because I think there's more coming. I think there already are more. You and I have this concept called magenta, baby. It's true. You don't deny it. We invented a technology of cyan. We have a completely different color palette than we used to, but we have no neurological anatomical record to reflect or prove this. And so science does what it's supposed to do and just say, If it doesn't exist, we don't have data for it, so I'm not going to say it's true. So no one's talking about it, which is ironic as fuck because it's the unseen realm. It's the hidden realm. Literally, the hidden realm is not talked about. And to me, this is like drum shot, like a rim shot of God going because it's like, hey, humans, you want to talk about the hidden realm? And everyone's just like, except for me. I got a big mouth. I'm going to use it. Boom. Talk about Hades, Tehom, Sheol. Yeah, it's the trinity of what's hidden. Yeah. So these are aspects that I don't go over a lot, and I have failed you. I'm sorry about that. I have failed you. Periwinkle is a really freaking great color, Abbott. I gotta admit. I'm gonna stop the bus for that one. Pulling over for some periwinkle. Everyone give it up for Abbott. That's a pretty good name for a color. If you're gonna be like, hey, what color are you? Someone's like, I'm rouge. And then someone else is like, and what color are you? Someone in the back's just like, I am periwinkle. And everyone's just like, oh my, holy. You know who isn't in that? Puce. Little old Puce over there. Rowing as hard as he can, trying to keep up. Here comes Pusey. Gary Pusey, some of you may know, went into acting, related to the color puce. Then there's off puce, which is hilarious, because off puce is probably a pretty good color. I'm just saying. Some of you are like, why are you dissing puce? And it's like, because I'm a puces. I don't like puces living in my neighborhood. Oh, you puces, get the fuck out. Yeah, go somewhere else. So anyway, Tehom, Sheol, Hades. What's the difference between these things? What is the difference between these things? And one of them could be looked at. I think that ultimately you're going to arrive at a Jungian. Hey, can I do this? Look at that. At a Jungian concept of this. Not even necessarily Jungian, but a psychosomatic look at it. How about that? So you got Tehom. This is before beginning. Think of this as water. Chaos. Okay. Tiamat. You've heard this story of Tiamat, typically sort of like a female ocean lady, really bitchy, to be honest, emotional as fuck. You really got to watch out for Tiamat. The first one, Eden, some people say, Kronos, first one, Eden. So there's like this planet Tiamat that kind of got split and like chunked and then thrown in the earth. But below that, there's this Babylonian sort of Tiamat, and it probably comes from Tehom, honestly. It probably comes from this primordial, watery kind of a place. The form before form. So you could think of this as pre-time. In other words, instead of losing yourself in, well, this is the preformed, the unformed, that which comes before, you could just say, you know what, they don't have time yet. That's all. It's just pre-time. So everything that happens, but it happens in a centrifuge of instantiation. Oh, look at you, Yeah, it's that term again. But the idea is that before something is invoked, there's an instantiated variable there. It's a member pulled off the shelf. An instance is placed onto the stage. That instance is you could call it the Platonic realm. I don't know if you need to do that. I think you're looking at a realm that has chemistry to it. And when you look at the chemistry of the world, I only say chemistry because I just want you to remove the emotions, but understand the emotions are there. I want you to remove the, it's such a beautiful torture. Everyone's so mean. Everything's so broken. There's no way this place could be good because everything's so fucked up and everyone's so fucked up. And it's like, yeah, that's your taste in the chemistry. You're drinking the urine in the kiddie pool, so to speak. You're just tasting it, and you're supposed to taste it. You make this place better. Frankly, watching you suffer like this, it makes me go, wow, this place is really intense. You were the person in the movie theater who shouts when something scary happens. You know what? I say stay. I like you here. I think it's great. Also, if I see you kind of freaking out and you're like demanding taxes from everyone in the theater so you could like create a military force and, set up a perimeter where you're not going to let people in the theater without searching through their popcorn, right? Then I'm going to be like, okay, this is fucking society. Right? Someone needs to... Let's take a pause on that metaphor I just gave you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that was worth it. It was worth it. So, Tiamat before, pre-time, right? And Sheol is actually going to be right at the end of time. It's like when time ends. So I misunderstand. I kind of clump these all into Sheol all the time because I'm usually in a hurry and I'm a singularist a lot of times. Syncretist is kind of a problem. I'm always trying to shove things into a box, and I'll keep doing that, to be honest. I'm going to keep doing that. However, today I wanted you to at least see that sometimes I try. I don't try hard, but sometimes I try, and this would be one of those things. So the returning, the dissolvedness of it. This is sort of like being hashed. When you conclude a smart transaction, believe it or not, it's sort of hashed. It's Bitcoin's the same way. It's a hashed variable of a transaction. That hash is sort of a ledgered version of everything checks out. It checks out, and we can sort of compress this event into a singular engram. Now, engram's a word I'm using. The Bitcoin doesn't use that, but your brain does the same thing. For whatever reason, we can't actually go find the actual memories, but we can find the engram or the sort of conscious receipt of memories. And this is interesting to me. Being a syncretist, as I've already admitted, so I might as well just lean into it. I'm going to look for things like this in the code. Well, I'm going to see them. I'm going to say, hey, look what I see. And you guys are going to freaking give me cash for it. Like Alexander, you're going to be like, here's $10. So you're supporting this. You're the one making this happen. Don't look at me like this is wrong. This shit's right, man. Now there's Hades, which is in relation. It's not water. It's not earth. It's stone. It's memory. It is the weighted parts of the place. This is the place that many of us cannot penetrate with our eyes, including me. I'm not trying to be all like I see it all. I've just written a book about someone that could see it all using a serum. So I kind of feel like I'm sort of like the architect of seeing, and that's kind of fucked up. We should not be encouraging me for that. So let's snap our fingers. Okay. So after meaning, end of being, before being, these are sort of three different unities of the collapsed realm, the unconscious. Some of you, me included, have an idea that there's an unconscious mind and then a subconscious mind and then a conscious mind. And then some of you have conscience. And this is confusing as fuck. And then there's the study of consciousness itself, the nessness of this. And so all these get mixed up into the same realm, the same thing that I do, quite frankly, about Hades all the time in Sheol. And here's why. You're dealing with an unseen realm, and you're insisting that we have to have categories to this unseen realm. And this is just Enochian dark magic, honestly. I was going to say like Sigim, to be honest, because it's sort of like reverse magic, because you're building a plurality from something that is, quite frankly, by definition, non-pluralable, non-pluralityable. So we're defining things that we've already set up as this is undefinable. And this is why I think it comes back to this Jungian notion of this. I don't even want to call it Jungian. I want you to just look at it as a occulted. Not occulted by a geography, although there's nothing wrong with that, meaning when a planet drops below, some of you prefer luminary, that's fine. I love luminary too, but when this planetary luminate drops below the horizon, it is occulted, but it is occulted by rock. It is occulted by matter, but it could also be occulted by time. Just let that sink in for a sec. That there are certain things that rise and lower and are occulted by time. They're occulted before and after time. Luciferus, Noctiferus and Luciferus, the rising and the falling Venus, taught us the same thing. Only a few people, looking at you Mayans, who were like, hey, that's the same fucking thing. Just wait. And people are like, I cannot remember that long. So we see them as different. So the entire time, the unseen realm is teaching you how to see it. It's showing you. It's saying, hey, look at this. Here's how it works. This is how it works. And your unconscious mind's doing the same thing. So to me, the mythology of this is really the powerful part. I always go to the mythology because the mythology is just what the pluralists view, meaning since I don't look for truth in the world, I look at beliefs. All I have to do is just look at what most people believe. And quite frankly, most people believe what's on Wikipedia. And some of you are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should only look at the most sacred texts. And you're the people before the Septuagint. You were the people that were like, we can't show the people Latin. We're gonna diddle more kids. We're gonna say no. You can't, James, you can't. Okay, I'm not saying that you diddle kids, but I'm saying you're acting exactly the same as them, where you're like, has to be this sacred separation of truth. And I'm telling you, you don't need that. The world is full of denial. So denial shows you everything you need. If you want to understand the truth of what chemtrails truly are, it's a form of denial. It's a form of denialism. It's one of the most powerful, sacred, scarecrow forms of magic that we have because it caused you to unlock the world and look at it in a new way. This is powerful magic. Stop insisting that, well, the demon has to actually be seen, James. It doesn't count if I saw a shadow and the shadow isn't real. So I have to go tackle the shadow. And if I tackle the shadow and put it in handcuffs and read its Miranda rights, then I get to believe in my intuition. And I'm like, dude, you are fucking insane. Do you hear yourself? Did you hear yourself? Because that's what all of us are doing all the time. Or insisting that the voices must be captured on film. Or insisting that the very fabric of society, the occulting of, I'm not talking about a rock where it occults over a planet. I'm not talking about time. I'm not even talking about time. Look at the intensity in my eyes. I'm not talking about time occulting. I'm talking about the psyche occultation. What you can truly know is occulted, and each of us have a different atmospheric haze. Haze D's, all right? Haze D's nuts. No, I don't know where that came from. Sorry, back up, wrong joke. But haze D's is this haze that we place between our occultation from our psychic load, right? From the psychic load of what can we afford? What is it that we can afford? What is it we can a Chevy, right? Wait a few minutes. Good to see everybody. Essential Salts is mythology and cosmology shared as public documents full. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, good to see you, Shesh. Essential Salts are Google Docs, right? You log on to these Essential Salts, you go places, you get it. It's great to be back, guys. Great to see you guys. Zerlis in the house. Good to see you, buddy. The dead tremble upon the waters and their inhabitants. Sheol is naked before God, flapping its wiener. Wait, that wasn't there. Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. What does that mean? The dead tremble under the waters and their inhabitants. Sheol is naked before God, and Abaddon has no covering. See, this is really what tripped me into the whole, oh my God, Hades is not hell. Hades is not hell, is what I said to myself. Hades is what feels like hell to see. These are very different places. If you were punished in hell, you would be forced to see things that burned your limbic trace. Your limbic filament would burn in the Hades, in the raw unseenness of you. So hell is a psychological transmission of fieldings coming online. Yes, you could certainly argue, well, it's a judgment and a karmic cycle. All those things are very possible. But what if I was to tell you that the entire conceptual notion of karma is just simply the closest thing that we could grip onto to try and grab hold of an invisible fielding that had been there the entire time? Your feelings coming online could only be explained to you in an immortal, eternal hell that is outside of you, that is boiling and raging to torture you. And it's torturing you with the horns of Hathor. It's torturing you with 666. It's torturing you with carbon, the elemental symbol, right? That neutrons, electrons, and protons and sixes are just simply here to torture and burn you by the radiance, the radiation of what you used to not be able to see. And so you have this spiritual history of all these saints coming online, and they're like, I'm the saint of ripping backskin off myself like bacon and putting it out into the sun. And I'm the saint of I will light my poop on fire and eat it, but then ask God, hey, can I just eat cow poop instead? And God had mercy, so now I'm just eating cow poop. And these people are fucking real. And these are the people that were like, hey, I'm proud of you. And we're doing that now. Look at social media. I'm not trying to preach at you. I'm trying to tell you that the very saints that we see now are the very saints that we saw before. And what are these saints of? These are saints that are opening up what? What are they opening up? Fraud, lies, abuse, narcissism. And these are all the things, and a lot of lies. A lot of fantasy, sculpting, Ponzi schemes, or belief churches, are they not? So this stretching is not an evilness. It's stretching into very specific ways, doping. It's stretching into ways where people are doing the impossible under the illusion that it is possible, and they're hiding a certain technique. So we are all training ourselves as magicians because we're literally worshiping the saints who've done this to us since day one. I call them charlatans now. It's the closest, most polite thing that I can get to explaining what I mean. And I'm not even trying to sound shameful. Let me define it again. A charlatan is someone who wants to help more than they want to be accurate. I know 7-year-olds that are fucking charlatans. And they're like, here, I will heal you. Oh, here, I'll take care of your rent. Hey, you can't make him pay. Or, hey, I'll get us dinner. And he's like, here's a napkin and a bubblegum wrapper. And it's like, that's a charlatan. We're born into this fantasy realm of just testing, of having bigger egos than others say we should, of going through all these psychic things. And these things are not necessarily bad. They're actually showing us the very tools that we're ashamed to use, and we're ashamed to use it because of how powerful they are. And they only know how powerful they are because we're watching the Kardashians or whatever the fuck. We're just feeding the very thing, the very sainthood that we used to. Hey, bacon back. It's Saint Jerome. Stop calling me that. Okay. Bacon back, give me that bacon back, Jerome, right? And you're like, well, Jerome, way to go, dude. You pulled some bacon off your back, and you stood on top of this pulpit in the middle of town, and a bunch of people gave you money. That's literally what happened. Literally. It happened so much they made a statue out of him. They're like, this is Saint Bacon Back. It's like, stop calling me Bacon Back. Oh, my God, you rip off your skin in the name of the Lord, and everyone calls you Bacon Back. And he was really Jewish. He was really Jewish. So this, I've told you a little bit. We can move on past here. I've shown you this idea that you unify these things, but they're different. Genesis has Tehom in it. The deep, the abyss, the primordial waters, right? The place before. This is the place before the record is there. So before time itself. And then when you look at what the symbol of Sheol is, I mean, of what this realm looks like, it's here's one. Let me skip ahead. It's basically a sonoluminescent bubble placed inside of a great deep. This great deep here, outside of Sheol, if you're looking at the screen, The great deep is Tehom. So Tiamat is not a place away from us. It's not a place that struck us. It is the larger form around it. Right? So it is the outer shell of the psyche. The outer shell of the psyche, which holds the potential for consciousness to be there. So what if you were to look at this illustration again and just see it as a cosmology of psyche, of your consciousness? A sonoluminescent bubble, but when I say bubble, I'm talking about a time-space bubble. I'm talking about that your ability to cellularly hallucinate your realm, your Osiris realm, is based on the chemical signatures of all of the potentiometers that you're listening for. That the ion channels are dilated, either open or shut, in a binary type spin that's allowing a certain matrix of information in. And all that information in, you have to compute and you have to picture in some way. And when I say picture in some way, I mean you're going to have to do it temporally. You're going to have to remember, okay, who, what, when, where, why. And the only thing you have is a bunch of ion channels that are coming in. So first thing you have to do is invent time. Your nucleus, the first thing it has to do, you little cute, you're a chaotic cell, you. The first thing you had to do inside your nucleus is invent this. Actually, first you had to invent a nucleus. Then you got prokaryotic, you little bitch. And you invented this nucleus, and the first thing you did is you said, I'm getting a buttload of ion signals. And you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is just remember which ones came first. This is the very first thing that you did, which was huge. You created time itself. You invoked Thoth when it wasn't there. Why do I say Thoth? Because you began to scribe things. You began to write things down. Why did you write things down? You're writing them inside the ribbon of your nucleus. Your nucleus has this ribbon that it stores charges, much like a scroll. And that these charges are stored on this scroll, and that scroll is just the information of your life, your thoughtfulness, your record. The stork's like, yo, bitch, you're pregnant. That's Thoth. It's like, hey, your baby's now remembering it exists, which is why you know you're pregnant. You know you're pregnant because there's something else inside of you, a sentient being inside of you that's storing its own memory. It's storing its own recollection. And you're like, I feel it. How do I know? Because it fucking kicks, man. That's how. It kicks, and I craving things that I don't even understand. So you have this sonoluminescent idea, and you have to broadcast it somewhere. So since you're remembering which ion channels were triggered by which sort of nibble or which spice that you're listening to, you start to have to figure out a way to broadcast, well, what the fuck does this mean? You don't have eyes, guys. Stop thinking in that way. You're a cell. You're a cellular membrane that has received a bunch of ion channels. These ion channels, you're going to have to utilize the power of your ribbon, what you and I would call the phonological loop, the 8675309, 8675309, 8675309, and you're remembering before you get inside so you can write down the number, and that this is just your processor. This is your ribbon chain. And it's working collectively because all your cells are utilizing the same thing. Hope you're doing well. James Drew here. James Drew live. Insert question back. This ribbon chain is how you're building and doing all this stuff. And these things are your consciousness that needs some sort of physicality. Some sort of physicality to broadcast all these fucking things that keep happening. They happen so much, you need a physical, spatial kind of phonological loop. A spatial phonological loop that you can navigate with senses, fingers inside the ribbon. Fingers inside the ribbon where you hallucinate what it would be like to run your diamond along that string and play the record. Oh, yes. It's the Sheol ribbon, and you're traveling down, and you're remembering things that happened to your grandfather. And you make up senses like hearing and sight and sound, and they have different limbic vibrations that make you feel good or bad. And so you have epigenetic lag. So you store meaning inside of this limbic flavor. It's not an accident. And as you go through time, you get a deeper limbic resolution because your equipment gets better. It gets more advanced. You're like, bitch, I need more than 5 colors. And boom, there's more than 5 colors. Now you got 7. I need more, 12. Now you got 1,000,000. You have 1,000,000 colors now. And I can paint every one. And we're just talking about colors now. And all these are hallucinated from inside your rib and from the ion channels. Why can't you see that? You know why you can't see that? Because you're not supposed to. Because of this. Because the great deep is not perceptible because you were too busy hallucinating something better. You were hallucinating something better than Tehom, than Tiamat. And doesn't this fit the mythology? Clang, clang. Tiamat's this... And she's got like wings and she's on her period and her hair's all fucked up and she's got like scales and she's just like, and you've seen the Sumerian Tiamat, right? It's just one of many. It's just, and that's what it would be if you were not hallucinating, if you were inside your nucleus, prokaryotizing yourself, minding your own business, and you just weren't even listening to ion channels. Well, the first thing you do is you just shrivel up. You ran out of resources. If you want to photosynthesize, you're going to have to open your ion channels. If you open your ion channels, then the batteries inside of you, the mitochondria, are going to come online. And they're their own identity. They have their own DNA. They have their own identity. So you're living inside of an enteric system anyway. You're living inside. You're wrapped along. You've straddled yourself to the horse of your esophagus. You're pulling your appetite, right? It has its own neurosis. It has its own memory. Same with your heart. You've sacrificed your heart between your ribs. You've been like, oh, come here, heart. And your heart's like, hey, what do you do? It's like, and you've stretched it between your rib cage and you pulled its aortic limbs from 4 quarters. They've been drawn and quartered by the horses of all these things, and they've been stretched all the way into your fingertips. It's its own neurons. It's its own living identity. It is. It's not the only thing. You have a lot of different neuron chains. Your eyes are their own living entity. They have their own brain power, their own sentience, their own idea of what they think is best for you, okay? So tap back into this notion is truly, truly the mythology of who you are. Because inside the sonoluminescent ball you've utilized through pressure, you're able to broadcast a sun and a moon. You're able to broadcast a universe. You're able to create a terrain. The terrain allows you to store history of every single thing that you've encountered inside your Osiris body. Every single thing. So there's a consciousness that's around that, but you're not even aware of the consciousness, but it's there. And I'm not just saying you. I'm picking on myself too. It's fine. It's okay to be unconscious. It's good. It's good. The unconscious form before is Tehom. The forgotten beneath form is Sheol. To rise up before to rise up is Tehom. After you've risen and fallen is Sheol. These are as close as you're going to get to this kind of place. So what is the ocean? I'm here to tell you that the ocean is not what we think. It is what we think, but it's so much deeper. Well, that's funny. Oh, James, don't blow it, James. Don't tell him that was a joke. James, you just need to let them hear that joke on their own. But the ocean is much deeper than we think. It's much deeper. And that these different areas are really probably closer to the reality of who you truly are. The chemical chemistry of what you truly know. All that you truly know. And when you start to look at the ocean as a kind of skin, I want you to maybe start to believe what I'm saying more. There is a sunlit zone, the very top layer, 100 meters. Most of us never, ever go anywhere below this. Never. fact, it takes pretty serious skill to even go below this. And that on the screen I've drawn for you 2 sound layers inside the ocean itself. 2 different sound channels. The red channel is a AM channel. It's an AM frequency. And the gold channel is an FM frequency. There are more channels. There are more channels, okay? I do not know them because I don't fucking speak beaked whale. I'm working on it, but holy fuck, that language is really complex. There's a lot of... Oh, I don't have it. There's a lot of click-clicks in there. A lot of it. So don't be expecting me to like give you the secret underground beaked whale language, okay? You're probably gonna have to read my book for that. All right? But this is something to understand. There's an epidermis. The ocean is an epidermis, a neurological epidermis is what it is. And the red line is the AM channel, meaning it's not really great for like high def music, but a lot of really simple-minded people can utilize this for very simple things. Talk radio, Rush Limbaugh, all these things. This is a layer that actually comes and goes. And it, quite frankly, the red layer actually supports the gold layer. It's not really its own. It's really more of a safety that the gold layer has. That there's this living organism that has decided there is too much fucking noise, too much blah blah going on above the surface. And that the ocean itself has created a special blanket so that it can listen to itself better. And this is really the same thing as skin. This is really what the epidermis does. Beneath the surface of the skin is this essential you. If you were to climb through the pores and sink yourself down past the epidermis, squeeze yourself through the capillary cracks and into the bloodstream, you quite frankly would probably forget that you're living inside of a single entity too, because it's not a single entity. It has hallways, it has rooms, it's a city, right? It's an open air city, and so the ocean is the same. It's just a chemical city. When you enter into the ocean, you forget that it's a singular entity. You forget because you have to. You have to forget because you're entering into a thought record that isn't you. It's someone else. But you were it. This is why it's so cool. The reason why you die when you go to the bottom of the ocean is not because you're not worthy. It is because the only way that you can see and perceive what is down there is by being dead. Do you understand? Guys, we don't necessarily die. We simply move into bandwidths and frequencies that we are ready for. We have a state, a Tiamat state before we're born, and we have a Sheol state afterwards. And both of these are moving through the thermocline of a living, gelatinous creature whose skin is so beautiful that it looks as liquid and as salty as yours and is as deep as yours and mine times more. This skin of Gaia has a characteristic, and its characteristic is built off the principle of listening. There are ocean layers, that top surface, that epidermis, 0 to 200 meters. It does carry sound, certainly, but it also creates this surface duct type effect, which separates it into an AM band, into a lower frequency band. It cleans it, it filters it. It literally says, hey, you can't be making noise on these upper channels. You know who else says that? The fucking government says that. The FCC says that. That there's certain authority that people have over bandwidth and signal, and this is a very common thing. This is not a weird thing that I'm expressing to you, and so too does this entering into awareness come in. The thermocline, a thing we talk about here a lot on the show, this layer between 200 and 1,000 meters, is this magical layer where most of the action is happening, where most of the flow of information is happening. You could look at the thermocline as a neurological layer. The surface layer of your skin hurts. It's like fucking poke it, burn it, right? It hurts. And then if you get 1st degree, 2nd degree, 3rd degree burns, things like that, believe it or not, the pain threshold is different. It changes. I don't know how to tell you guys that it doesn't hurt if you rip off your skin, because you and I know bacon back, and bacon back needs his props. Okay, so St. Jerome, we're going to say that it hurt just as deep for you to bacon back, that deep in as we did. But it's true. There are less neurons or less sensory input after a certain point. And so too does this thermocline have this similar kind of idea. There's a SOFAR channel, a convergence. That's really what I meant by these red and yellow. This gold bar is the SOFAR channel. It's a bandwidth, much like the frequency, the FM on your radio, that goes not quite up to the red, because that's AM, and not quite down to the depth, but still into the midnight zone, and allows you to transmit it on a much different level. You're looking at blue whales, gill whales, beaked whales. You're looking at Cthulhu. You're looking at Qualiago, Gulianda, and Gthuvil. If I've left your name out, please do not torture the next generation. But these different layers are giving you different levels of psyche, is what I'm saying. And one of the ways that you would leave this realm into a different psychic form is to leave sound itself. So there's a titillating outside surface skin that's receiving sound. Then there's the movements of your body itself. Then there's a deeper kind of place, a place that primordially goes somewhere else. It's really hard, I think, for us to comprehend, because we've hallucinated into these forms with a skeletal structure and things like that. I'm not saying it's not there, but there's certain things that the deeper you go into the density of certain things, the harder it gets to see. And this is one of the characteristics, I think, of Hades. Hades is this rock, right? Well, what in your body would be this rock? And it would be your bones, wouldn't it? It would be the reef-like structure of your bones, not just the catacombs of your bones, of your outer bones, but as you go deeper into the marrow and it gets denser and thicker, you enter into a place that never receives light, that doesn't have its own concept of time even. It exists in a different place. Why would it not have time? Because universes have been built on top of it. Other bones have grown. This is why our faces get wider. It's weird. But when you look at what happens to the face, it doesn't get larger. It doesn't gigantize. It physically gets wider. It has to do with gravity, a bunch of different stuff like that. But it also has to do with just how the layering of time affects things. Time is not a scale. Time is a collapse. What do I mean about that? Time is not zooming you. If you think about this, wouldn't organisms grow in a scaled, zoomed rate? And the answer is no, because they're trying to reach the engram. They're trying to collapse themselves properly into the hash of history. You and I don't notice this transaction. We don't. You know what we think it is? We think it's gravity. We think it's gravity. And that's why we have this illusion that gravity is sort of time and space, and it's matrical, but it's simple. It's super simple, apparently. It's so simple none of us can figure it out. And really, it's just the collapsing of all that has occurred into a receipt-like verified state of layer, which is what an archaeologist does. He cuts through a mountain and he looks, he's like, hey, this is 20,000 years old. Look at this. There's a saber-tooth bone. a 1-2 saber-tooth, which honestly probably wasn't that scary, guys. If you met a saber-tooth tiger in prehistoric America and it only had one saber, it would have a lisp. And I'm telling you, it would jump out and be like, and you'd laugh your ass off. It would still eat you because you could not outrun how funny it was. And this is a cosmic lesson here, guys. Cosmic lesson is how it works. James, you got less than 9 minutes. The surface duct is this gelatinous realm. We'll call this sort of fat, the surface fat. And it traps and allows its own signals to come through. Shadow zones, let me get to this one. This is what I wanted you to see. This idea, this SOFAR channel, this would be the center of the gold bar, what I showed you earlier. And that inside this magical zone, you have sounds that are curving up, and then because of the density and the salinity of the water, they start to curve down. And then when they get down too far, because of the depth and temperature change, they start to curve up. And so this beautiful, beautiful lattice, a trinity of sorts, 3 different factors are causing this SOFAR layer to create a amphitheater of sound that lasts for thousands of miles. And I know I've said it before, but the whales will talk on this channel, this CB channel. Breaker 19, this is Big Blue coming at you. And everyone else is like, why do you get to call yourself Big Blue? I'm fucking Blue Whale too. Maybe you need to change your name. It's like, I was Blue Whale first. And they probably have all kinds of funny ass talk like this. They're probably really, really creative guys. But they have this channel, and I want you to think about this channel itself as a conscious layer. A conscious layer of knowing. If something's happening 1,000 miles away and you know about it, you can hear about it, then you know about it. You have a gnosis about it. It exists because you are that. I don't mean you, but if you could immerse yourself into this layer of skin, this oceanic layer of skin, that you'd understand that the reason why you can hear for 1,000 miles away is because you are 1,000 miles away. Do you understand? You are 1,000 miles away. That as you go down into the epipelagic, mesopelagic, bathypelagic, and the abyssal pelagic, that you're just reaching into what we call high pressure is simply higher consciousness. Going into your own field. Imagine how hard it is to be someone else if you could crawl inside someone else's body. I know it's weird, but just imagine. You'd be surrounded by the consciousness of something else. And if you went deeper and deeper, think about what a heart transplant is. You wake up. Yeah, this guy fucking loves spicy food now. Why does he love spicy food now? Why? Because the bathypelagic and the abysmal pelagic have been switched. And so you have this hadal, this Hades, this hadal bottom. You're looking at a descent into consciousness of something else. And it's such a different consciousness that we just see it as extreme high pressure. Extreme, intense, high pressure. Look at underneath these layers, these folds. There are Antarctic continental shelf layers, bottom water, that never, ever, ever sees the surface. Never. Never. And it's circulating because it's creating an internal vortex. I've talked about this before, but if you picture I'm sorry, I can't get into this sound right now, but this bottom layer is never necessarily needs to be on the surface because it's remembering very important things. Think about the rejected salt that forms along these layers. There's the sea ice, and then there's all this rejected salt that's stored right underneath it. Directly there, all the informational pathways are there. The ribbon information is there. And when you unmap what this really looks like, you're looking at a map of the ocean, which doesn't look anything like our reality. This is a very different reality. It's a very different cosmology. Not only is it different, but you're looking at a very different focus, a very different shape. These areas that you're seeing are concentrations of these giant encephalopods or some word I'm probably pronouncing wrong. These albino luminescent creatures. So many of them are luminescent. We'll talk about that next time. Guys, I got to go because we got Dojo. You should come to Dojo. It's fun. Come to Patreon. There's a free invite right there waiting for you. Lori's modding today, and we'll see you in there. So 4 minutes gives me just enough time to play the song. Thanks for being here on James True. Thanks for Super Chat, D. Is it Memorial Day today? Is that today? Wow. I didn't even do a show about that. Isn't that ironic? I forgot it was Memorial Day. I didn't actually forget. For some reason, I thought it was last. Anyway, we'll see. I think there's a dojo. Okay, I'm assuming. I just realized it's a holiday. I'm going to be in dojo. If you want to come, you should come. We'll see you then. Bye.